you're the fund committee. Yay.
Yeah,
And
we
so
put the
I-
because there's fun in fund, right?
That's right. That's
there
why we're
is,
here.
there is. So I just thought I'd run through it quickly, just so you know what the pots of money are and the fact that there is an investment policy. So I sent you the investment policy, and that was updated in 2015. And it's basically reflects what the state law is, that you can't be too risky with it. There's certain guidelines you have to follow. So at the time, the money that the trustees hold has been in several different places, and it's now with First Financial Trust, that's with the savings bank. But first of all, there are multiple different pots of money. And I tried to number them on the sheet. So the fourth one that I listed there are funds managed by the town treasurer. Those are like the founders funds. Those are old funds. A lot of the people are named BB, or like some of the streets in Wakefield, you'll see the name that those people have left funds. And all of those are managed by the town treasurer. And the interest that they earn goes toward offsetting the municipal appropriation at town meeting annually. So if we need $1 million, whatever those funds have produced offsets that million. That money does not count toward the state appropriation, so we always have to be careful of that. But it's a nice little thing. It's also restricted to books. So those funds are all used for materials. And in some cases, we stamp books saying who gave the money for them. So it throws off about $2,000 a year and it was from a particular BB, and all of the science books are stamped with his name. So there are kind of restrictions to it. So then the second group that are also managed by the town treasurer. So he has all these that he are managing. 3 of those actually are controlled by the trustees. And you see those every month. That's the Stout Fund, Frank and Emily Tredinick, and Frank Wakefield. And I have to watch those funds to make sure that they don't scoop the money from the interest from them to go to the offset, because that actually is your interest. And over the years, the Stout Fund, the trustees had said, let's just use Stout for technology purchases. So we actually haven't had to use these in quite a while. But when we did use them, we spent them down. You can only use the income. You can only use the interest earned. So it might look like you have a lot of money, but you can really only use the interest. And for instance, the Frank Wakefield Fund, which is restricted to scientific books, has about $70 in it that you can actually use. The rest of it has to stay. And as I said, the treasurer's office manages those. So then what you manage is, we call them, they're kind of like super bequests. They were people who left significant funds with restrictions or not. And they came to the trustees, specifically to the trustees, not the town. So those are now managed in First Financial Trust, and they were aggregated in groups that reflect how you can use them. And once again, most of them are income only. You can only use the income. One of them, the Spalding Fund, it's the same Spaldings who the head of the lake is named for. They left a fund for the library, and it's in a fidelity investment. And by the terms of the will, it has to be in that. That can't be moved. So that little fidelity thing is always, and it fluctuates. You're not going to accrue that income fluctuates. So at any given time, you have access to about $3,000 or $4,000 for that one. So what we're talking about today are the First Financial Trust funds. And how we use those, we haven't used them in a long time, but in 2008, maybe we spent down all the income. that was available because there was a economic problem and we couldn't meet our materials appropriation requirement without excess money. At one point, we had a book budget from the town that was about $11,000, and we made up the rest of it with gifts and funds. So these have now bounced back a little bit, and there is there's some decent income there, but they are almost all restricted. And there's one that says there's 90%, the Mary Tredinick gift, 90% goes to books, 10% reverts to principal every year. So First Financial knows all this, and they keep very good track of it. And when we add money to it, we're still getting gifts that will go into this fund. They really are. There's enough people there. Janice knows how they work, and Rick Ciolino is the guy who works with us too. They know what they're dealing with, so it makes it a little bit easier than it used to be. It's easier to watch because we are responsible for it. You know, it's an investment that we're responsible for, and there have been times when they've been losing money, so you kind of want to be that was rare, but it did happen once that they were losing money. And because I saw it, it was a time when Sharon was here. You know, she had to bring that to the trustees' attention that this is, you know, you might want to move it, you might want to freeze it. We don't know what you want to do with it, but it was losing money. So at this point, the final thing that I have to tell you is that to use the First Financial Trust money, we had set up a checking account with the savings bank, and First Financial Trust would transfer money into that account when we wanted it. And if we wanted, so you would vote on what you wanted. So the whole trustee board would vote about what they wanted to spend the money on. And then we would write a check, and at least 2 people had to sign that check. At the time it was Sharon, and then it was either Cindy or Kevin. So Cindy and Kevin aren't there anymore. Sharon's not here anymore. Sharon's signature was transferred to mine. But then in the intervening time after Sharon left and the board was changing over, someone at the savings bank closed the account for lack of use. So now we have no checking account. So we're starting from scratch. And so what I'm proposing to do is I will go myself over to the savings bank and see what they need. But if I know who else is going to be the signatory, at least I'll have that information. If we all have to go there, we will, but I suspect they'll give me the paperwork and you'll just have to sign it and complete it. The 2 people who are going to be the co-signatories. So I think you have to, maybe we can do like who wants to volunteer to be a signatory, and then we'll bring that to the board meeting next week and it will be voted on.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'm around a lot.
Yeah, same.
Same here.
We're all willing to do it. We're all able to do it.
We get a salary from this, right? Again, Catherine, is that what you said?
Again, yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Okay.
With all your you must have quite the income tax.
I know. It's
With
really
all
hard to
those-
keep track.
Yeah, with all those various things. So we'll say Susan and Scott, since
Sure.
we know Amy travels.
She does travel.
Yeah. So did you have any questions? It's pretty simple.
Yeah, no, this was helpful. Thank you.
Okay, and if you think of any questions, just bring them up at the meeting next week.
Okay.
And I will talk with the savings bank, and then we'll get that together before we actually need the money again.
Yeah.
You said we were gonna we usually have a presentation from First Financial. Do you know when that is? Is that?
It can pretty much be whenever we want. I had pushed it off until September. Usually it's in like May or June.
Right.
And I had pushed it off because I thought that we were all going to be in the same room. I think it's a little easier when you're all when everyone's in the same room.
Yes.
And Rick has been working remotely, so maybe won't make any difference. I don't know. But I'm going to talk to him again and see when the best time is, but we will do that.
Is library, are we having our general meeting in person?
This one next week? No, it can't be in person yet. I know. I know, but it will be, it will be soon. The only ones that are in person right now, they're hybrid and they're out of the CAT.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 boards, I think, that are doing it. Maybe it's the school department and the town council.
Town council is doing, yeah, hybrid.
Yeah, so I think we'll be able to do that soon, but not yet. Because I know Tim is anxious to get back in a room.
He made mention during our ad hoc meeting last week of seeing everyone in person, and I thought to myself, I think we're still on Zoom, unfortunately, but we'll get there.
I know, we're getting there, I
Yeah.
think. Okay,
You people seem very optimistic.
That's all we have.
I
I'm not
know,
feeling that, but
I know, you have to,
I hope, but hope is not a strategy, I like to say.
yeah, we're treading water. It's better than it was. And it can't go on forever, so
Right.
we'll see. Okay, so
Sounds good.
are we
Yeah.
voting to adjourn?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Did we open the meeting?
Yeah, we're kind of,
Yeah.
I'm making a motion to both open and close the meeting.
There we go. Retroactively open. I'll second it retroactively.
okay. And who's seconding the closing?
I will. Or did I make the motion?
You made sort of a joint motion just now, so I'll second both, the to open and close.
I'm so
Okay.
glad this is recorded.
Oh, I know, I was gonna say, it is really nice to be in person, so you do all these things and no one knows that you,
Correct. Correct.
that you've really messed up the Roberts rules.
Mm.
Okay,
So we're voting, all those in favor, right?
Aye.
there we go. Okay, well, thank you very much. Have a fun day.
Too.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Catherine. Thanks,
We'll
everyone.
See you next week.